Alright guys, I'm Mitch Woods with Jay's Ace Hardware and Wren's, and if you're watching this video, my guess is you're interested or in the thought process of switching over to LED lights. And here today I'm with Robert Janczek, and I'll let Robert discuss with you what he does.
Hey Mitch, how are you?
Doing good, doing good.
Yeah, my position with a county government operation is purchasing, and in the purchasing that pertains to cost-saving things that we can do to help save money, and of course the overall expenditure of a project.
Excellent, that's right. And so, as my job is to go to places and businesses, and of course even government jobs, like what Mr. Robert does. And we first talked about this back in July, something like that. When we first discussed this LED thing, and you know, first of all, we're going to keep this light. It's not going to be some like I'm reading straight off a sheet or anything like that. This is just me and him having a discussion about it. Be honest about everything, the do's and don'ts, the likes and dislikes about it. But so far, so good is what I'm hearing anyway.
Right.
And so what we're going to start with, the question is, what's your original thoughts on the LEDs? When I come in here the first day with no insight about it, what was your thoughts on it?
Well, I mean, just watching the technology of the LEDs and how they're changing, how they're really easy to work with and efficient, and we just started thinking, that's wow, if they had this in a light fixture, it could really make an impact on our expenses. Right. So just the technology, the changing of the LED technology has created a good start.
So it was, I mean, for me going to him and hearing his thoughts on that already it was beneficial for both of us because we had some mild knowledge about it, you know, beforehand. But so currently, back in July when we first had this discussion, what light bulbs did y'all have in y'all's current place of? This took place at the prison, so that's what we're talking about.
A combination of the T8 bulbs, 4 foot, 8 foot. And just regular incandescent light bulbs.
Yeah, so just they were kind of mix-match, would you say, stuff like that?
Different wattages, and it's just a combination of everything, whatever we could find to put in there.
That's exactly how most places are.
Right.
And what would you say some of the implications or problems those light bulbs had for that you saw for the most part?
It was basically, well, one was parts, transformers. They were getting extremely hard to find, and there were so many color combinations of daylight, day bright, and it was hard to keep all the bulbs matched.
Right, yeah.
So they projected the same light.
Exactly. I mean, and even so, you know, you could walk into one cell and you got cool white, walk into one cell and you got daylight, and it's just confusing, I guess. And it definitely doesn't look good if you have a supervisor walking in there and you got all kinds of lights, different colors and stuff like that. So it's that's one of the issues that we mainly see, well, at least, you know, for us, is when we walk into a place of business, how different the color of the lights are, and it's just, you know, you got lights, but it doesn't look great, you know. But how did you guys go about solving the problem? Now we're moving into me walking in here. I'm not saying saving your life or anything.
Actually, I think it was the salespeople at the Ace Hardware. Thank you. We were constantly going into the store asking for ballast and T8 in bulbs, and then there was kind of a collaboration between the Ace salespeople and the staff and myself, and putting our heads together to solve this.
Like a nuclear reactor colliding, basically. But and basically what I want to know now is, okay, we made the decision, let's do it. How time consuming would you think compared to the new bulbs? Now this is one more problem question I got, is how time consuming was it to operate those old bulbs? Okay, so I know you got prisoners that can change them and stuff like that, but how tedious was that really and truly to change the old bulbs?
Well, to a certain extent, you know, some of those crews can only do so much, so at some point we would have to call in our maintenance people to do electrical change outs, since it was getting time consuming.
Right.
Because in a secure facility like that, not having lighting is not an option.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And I'm sure, you know, y'all got maintenance guys out there doing things that are more important than changing one or two light bulbs in a cell. You know, but at the same time, it's still a priority. So now we're moving into the good stuff here. And the number one question I get asked every single time when doing this, and was a question this man here asked me as well, is how much money do you actually save a month? So I know for a fact when we went in, I think it was around 145 fixtures that we fixed. It was in a mixture between some 8 foot, some 4 foot, and they were all 2-bulb fixtures. So with that, they've only had it installed a couple months. What would you, right off the bat, what was the number we discussed before, when I came here and asked you, what was that number you gave me?
That we have saved?
Yeah, that saved
I believe
that
when we checked it, it was around $415.
So $415 a month now. This is not a year, this is a month.
A month.
And so around $5,000 a year. That's pretty incredible. I mean, and for a county, think about where the $5,000 could go into somewhere else. And think about that for your place of business too. So that's incredible.
Big savings.
For sure. And that was even more than what we originally thought it was going to be, I think, when we did the planning. And so a quick question on this, because this is another question, is how did you guys pay? How did y'all move?
Well, being that the facility was a rather large facility, when we started talking back in the summer, of course it was a budgeted item,
right?
And we brought it before our directors, and it was a planned item, so that's how the funding came. But not all places will be this large. A lot smaller, a lot larger. But for our facility, it was just a budgeted item.
Gotcha. Next question: how's the lighting compared to your old system? Consistency and everything.
Within hours of the lights being installed, employees were already commenting about how cleaner, crisper, brighter the light was, and it was a lot easy to just perform duties at their desks.
Yeah,
with a much brighter, cleaner light.
Exactly, and that's one thing I was really blown away about when we first started doing this, is how crisp the light is compared to the other lights. And even if you had like a T12, which is a larger bulb, everything we're putting in is T8s, and that's even smaller. But they're putting out almost twice as much light as the original T12, so that kind of blows you away as it is. But anyway, and it's more consistent, and so having that makes employees just more happy in general.
It does. It does.
So, and how did you guys get it installed, and how easy was the process of that, you think?
Well, we're fortunate enough that we have our own maintenance crew, facility, or maintenance guys, and they just would start on it, and just in some cases they would do maybe one office a day or a couple offices, and within a period of time it was a completed job.
Right, it is. It's a little quicker than what we naturally assume too, I think.
From what I was told, that once you do 2 or 3, then your time picks up considerably installing them, because you know the shortcuts.
Right, exactly.
So it's real easy to do.
And twice as easy as changing a ballast out in general, I think.
Correct.
Too,
Correct.
And what would you say, as a client, what would you say to any consumer that is on the fence about switching over to LEDs?
The cost savings, top and foremost.
Absolutely.
Definitely. It will prove itself.
Absolutely. That's something we discussed originally when we came in here, and we were talking about this before we even turned the camera on, is how much money we saved. I think it was even more than what we originally discussed in the beginning, per month. But just think about your place of business, and whether it be small, large, like a prison, for instance, or whether it be just a small little office where you may have 6 or 7 lights that you want to replace. The cost, would you say, just speaks for itself in the savings?
It definitely does, and over that period of time, with the constant changing the design of LEDs, they're cool to the touch. It's gonna lower your air conditioning bills. It's just gonna be an all around better product.
Right, exactly. And that's one thing I think that we're naive of in the beginning, is that it's not just about the lights. We're saving heating bill because your lights are smoking and getting hot. That's what the original fluorescents do, is they get hot. You burn ballast, so that's more electricity. These lights, they run, as we discussed, off the end of your tombstones, so they're lit up from the end, and they just go through the whole entire bulb, and they're cool to the touch, like you say. And I mean, just in general, an all-around better product. And I think that, you know, the cost is a little scary at the beginning, but in the long run, I mean, we're probably going to make back what we spent on it in 1 year, and then start saving money after that. So.
Right, and then the operation of these things too is that when you turn your light on in the morning, they come right on.
Right, no heating.
You don't have the flickering for 10 or 15 minutes and then have to sit there and wait. It's an instant.
Hold your breath that it comes on.
When you turn the switch on, you have instant bright light.
That's right. Yeah, something that you couldn't count on before.
Right,
that's for sure.
Right.
But anyway, we're at our 10-minute mark here. But I want to thank you, sir, for your time, and I appreciate it.
Appreciate the hard work y'all do for us.
And we are very thankful for their business, as we are for y'all's. And we thank you for watching. And we hope that this video has helped you slide more in the direction of wanting to move forward into LED lighting. Thank you very much from all of us at Jay's.
Thank you.